All right. So we worked on this homepage UI for the post design. Now for the floating action button, what we'll do, we'll wrap everything in a grid. This vertical stack layout, we are going to wrap this inside a grid without any row and column definition because we want that floating action button to be on top of the actual content always. Inside this grid, I'm directly going to paste this vertical stack layout. We should have the same thing, no change at all. Now, after this vertical stack layout, let me go to the very top, collapse this vertical stack layout. Here we are going to have our floating action button. So this is going to be a custom design. So for this, I'm going to use a border. Okay. For now, let's have some height 50, width 50, and let's say stroke shape round rectangle 10. We'll design it just having something. So we'll say image source, and I think I have plus fab.png this image here. I pull the charge. Round rectangle spelling. Save it, and we are seeing something that is here. So what we'll do now is behaving stroke shape. This one. Let's have some background color. Let's have our static resource primary. Save it. Let's restart the app. So maybe we change the main layout. It is kind of picking up. Okay, so we have get started, login, and we can see this button which is at a very bad place. It is now not showing the way we want it to be shown. But before that, let's fix this red color, right? This is, and why this black color, sorry, it should be that faded line. So let's first fix this faded line. We are using, we have this faded line on app.xaml, right? Faded line, this one. We have hide request one, we have color as this, we have opacity as this. On box view, let's change this color to background color. Color works sometimes, but let's try background. Okay, changed now. Height request, let's do 0.5. Very thin line. Save it. Now we are good. Now is we need to fix this button. Home page. We have this border, we have this image, everything is fine. Because we have this inside all view should be like this, and this border should be outside of the scroll view. This is how we, now again I think we need to auto reload. All right, so if you see, now we have this button which is looking ugly, but at least it is getting shown in the center of the screen. Now we just need to move it to the end of the screen. So on this border, we'll say horizontal options as center, which is right now we can see it. Then we are going to use vertical options as end. Should go to the end. Save. Now this image, it should be of white color. For that, instead of direct image, we are going to use our white image. All right. Now we can have our height and width on this image. So let's say height request 24 and width request 4. Cool. Now on this border, let's have, instead of height and width like this, let's use maybe 45, 45. Make it a bit smaller. And then we don't need any stroke outside of this thing. So on this border, we'll say stroke thickness as 0. Then we need some spacing from the bottom. Right now it is touching the bottom corner. For this, what we'll do, we'll simply have a margin on this border. We'll say 0 from left, right, and 5 from top, bottom. Save it. Then we should have some shadow effect here so that it looks stacked kind of thing. So on this border only, we'll say border dot shadow, and we are going to use shadow here. This is default shadow, black kind of. I think we are okay with the default. Let's still set the brush black, and then let's also increase this radius 50, or maybe save it, and we are good now. Now this round rectangle, let's have 15. Save it, and now we are good. It looks fine, but we can have maybe gradient as well for this background color. Okay, let's have this background color as gradient. So on this border, what I am going to do, I'll say border dot background. Okay. Here we can use linear gradient brush. Okay, and we can start it as endpoint 0.5 to 1. So x and y axis, and then we need to provide different colors from where we want to start till where we want to. We will have a gradient color of our primary color. So we have primary dark and primary, right? So we'll say gradient stop offset. It should start from 0.1, and the color would be static resource primary dark. Let's use this one. We are going to copy this, and we are going to use the primary color, and this gradient stop, the second one, it should go to 1.0. It is like this. Now you can play around with this. It starts from this left top corner, it goes to the right bottom corner. You can play around with this. Instead of 0.5 and 1, you can have 1 and 1. You can have 0.75 and 1, have 5 and 1, or you can have 1 and 0.5. These are different dimensions from where it should start till where it should go. So do let me in the comment if you guys are familiar with these gradients, or maybe if you won't, I can maybe plan a dedicated video for gradients. 0.5 and 1, we are okay. It starts from this left top corner, go to the right bottom, and you can also play around with these offsets. You can have multiple colors inside this 0.1, 1.0, and all. So now we are good with this floating action button as well. So with this, I guess we have implemented everything on this homepage UI wise basically. Cool. Now we can start working on the next page, which will be our details page. Okay.